The topic today is embodiment of pure devotion, the Acharya who moves hearts. These bhajans that are quite famous, very easy to memorize, they're also each one of them infused with a great deal of feeling. They move the heart of everyone. They also have one thing in common. They are composed by one person, the great Acharya Narottama Das Thakur. Any Gaudiya song that is known to melt hearts, it'll almost always be among the long list of bhajans by Narottama Das Thakur. Narottama Das Thakur says, the ocean of Krishna Prem is so vast that even a drop from it can flood the entire world. It's an amazing thought. If you can just visualize this, one drop of Krishna Prem can flood the entire world. That's how big the ocean is. So there's a village in Bengal. It's very famous for agricultural products. You know, the land is very fertile. If you drop a fruit seed there by mistake and come back after a few years, there'll be a tree there filled with fruits. You know, that's how fertile the soil is. It's by the bank of this river called the Padma River, Padmavati. So in this river, there was a kayast. I mean, in this by the river, there was this village called Keturi village. This is a temple that's been built in that area. You can actually go and see it today. So many years ago in this village, there was a Kayastha family. Kayastha family, very successful. It's headed by a successful landowner, an entrepreneur by the name of Krishna Nanda Majumdar. So Krishna Nanda, he was so wealthy and influential that he was basically considered royalty. And he was known as King Krishna Nanda Datta Majumdar. And his wife was the queen, Narayani Devi. Now, King Krishnananda was very pious, and he would serve many, many Vaishnavas who passed through. And he saw that these great devotees, they really loved kartals and madangas, the khol drum. So he would arrange very generously many, many kartals and many, many mridangas. And they would come, these devotees, and they would see, wow, these are ready for our use. And they would worship, they would offer worship to these musical instruments. And then they would sing and dance, sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They would sing the glories of Lord Nityananda, Lord Gauranga. And they would talk about the great Lord Nityananda again and again. So this king, Krishnananda, he developed a lot of affection and love for Nityananda and Gaura. And these devotees that were coming through, you know, he saw that they knew Srimad Bhagavatam really well, the Bhagavad Purana. And fortunately, in this village, only Vaishnava Brahmins used to pass through. You know, thankfully, there were no what they call Smarta Brahmins. Smarta Brahmins are just, those they're focused on the external ritualistic aspects. But thankfully, they would avoid this village because this village is already being visited by so many Vaishnava Brahmanas, and Vaishnava Brahmanas, they would, present the pure message of love. The love of God is really the main thing, Krishna. Let's not get stuck up on unnecessary ritualism or hollow ritualism. So this was a good thing. It was very fortunate for Krishnananda, for this village. Now, Krishnananda's wife, in due course of time, was about to have a baby. And so Majumdar, Krishnananda, he was so much into education. He really felt education is like the most important thing for children. Like most people do, but he was really, really into it. So when his wife was just 6 months pregnant, Majumdar started a whole nationwide Brahmana recruitment campaign, the whole process, so that he would have all the best teachers lined up. He hired specialists in all the different branches of Vedic knowledge and philosophy and Nyaya and grammar and poetry and all the best. And you have them sit and prepare for the baby to come, so that when the baby is ready, that they can start teaching him. So you'd walk around and ask the teachers, so how is it going? He would ask. Oh, yeah, yes, Maharaj. We're just completing the study, the summarization of the great Vidyasagar's commentary on such and such. I said, yes, good. Be sure it's done on time, okay? Because we only have 3 more months before the baby is born. He said, oh, don't worry. We're already preparing these nice big block letters so the baby can read them easily, and he'll get a top-notch education. Don't worry, the top-notch, the best in the world. So Majumdar became really happy. He said, my son will become very learned and much more learned than me. He'll be like the Brahmanas. And so he'll not just be appreciating Brahmanas like how I do. Yes, Brahmanas very nice. But he'll actually be educated as them. And he'll know what they're talking about. He'll really understand the philosophy, So when the baby was born, then he got a whole bunch of astrologers. Majumdar said, we need the best astrologers. We need to get the panditas ready for the recommendation on how to name this child. And so, of course, the panditas, they were, for several days, they're looking at the charts and they argued amongst themselves, and they finally came to a consensus that no, this child's name has to contain the syllables na, ra, and ta. Na, ra, ta, those 3 have to be there. That's the most auspicious combination. So then they researched and they found in the Bhagavatam one section that says that one day Naradhamas will become Narottamas, that the most fallen will become the greatest. Narottama means the greatest among men. So they said Naradhamas will become Narottamas. And Majmudar really loved that name, so he became Narottam. Of course, because he was a prince, or well, not exactly royalty, but sort of royalty, everybody would call him Yuvaraj. Yuvaraj means the crown prince, Yuvraj Narottam. Or Rajkumar Narottam. Because he was basically, in line for the throne of the village. He was very wealthy, and he was, as expected, fully protected. And he was never allowed to venture out of the small village. Very protected. So one day the boy asked, Father, I want to bathe in the Padma River. Can I go? The father said, no. Why should you go? We will bring the river water to you, my child. You can bathe in that. Swimming in the river can be so dangerous. But I want to learn how to swim. That's fine. I'll arrange for you to learn how to swim, but not in the river. The river will just wash you away. So Majmudar arranged for Narottam to learn swimming in a small lake near the house. The pukur, small like a pond or a lake, under the careful watch of multiple lifeguards. And so Narottam would learn swimming and splashing around as a young child, but he was never allowed to go near the Padma River. It's too dangerous. Now, when the sadhus came, they always had their son, this Majmudar and his wife. They always insisted that their son listen to the sadhus. They insisted, Narottam, sit up straight and listen attentively. And the father would sit on one side, and the mother would sit on the other side, while the great Vaishnava sadhus spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, the parents did not realize that this is going to be their biggest mistake, because the sadhus would discuss mainly things like the detachment of the great Raghunath Das Goswami. And why would they bring up Raghunath Das Goswami? Well, they would say, well, you're Majmudar, right? So Majumdar here, there's also another Majumdar. He's Govardhan Majumdar. You are Krishnananda Majumdar, but there's another very famous Govardhan Majumdar. You are rich. Govardhan Majumdar also very rich. You have a son. He also has a son. And of course, this is Raghunath Das Goswami. He was the son of Govardhan Majumdar. He would say, yeah, and Raghunath was so detached. And being a rich prince, He gave up everything. He gave up all his wealth. And he was sustaining himself, his body, just by begging at the Simhadwara gate of Jagannath temple. And then later he even stopped begging there. He became so detached. His father, Raghunath's father, had sent a whole contingency, a whole army, entourage with feasts, not just for Raghunath, but for all the devotees, feed nicely. But Raghunath would not even touch it. Raghunath would only eat what is left behind in the ditch after even the cows were done eating from it. And we have heard that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself would beg him for his special ditch prasadam. Now, Prince Narottama, after hearing these kathas, he would ask before eating. He would be so engrossed in these stories. And then he would be so absorbed in how Raghunath was so detached. There must be something about this Gaura Bhakti, something nectarian about it. So whenever it's time to eat, Narottama would ask, is this offered to Gaura? And they would say, yes, of course, this is offered to Gauranga. This is Mahaprasadam offered to Gauranga. But what is Raghunath Das Goswami? What is he eating? Oh, Raghunath Das Goswami? Oh, he lives on Krishna Prem alone. Oh, Krishna Prem. I will also live on Krishna Prem only then. And then they would say, but my dear child, today we didn't cook any Krishna Prem. We didn't make any Krishna Prem today. Tomorrow we'll make it. Don't worry. So then next day, they would prepare a nice pot of vegetables and rice and dal, all in one, and make it a dish and call it, hey, this is Krishna Prem. Narottama, this is Krishna Prem. And Narottama would eat the whole pot with so much relish because he would think of Raghunath Das Goswami. So Narottama would continue listening to these beautiful stories. He would hear stories of Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, other great acharyas. And he developed these ideas of leaving home and just living in holy places, under a tree or in Dharamshala. He'd tell his father, hey, father, why are we just stuck over here in this village? Won't you want to live, go travel around the holy places, pastimes of Lord Krishna, pastimes of Lord Gauranga, live under a tree or live in a Dharamshala, live very simply and just absorb our consciousness in these wonderful kathas. And, we can live like Raghunath Das Goswami. We can live like Rup Goswami under a tree. He was so excited. And the father would explain, look, Narottama, these are great worshipable personalities. We can hear about them. We should hear about them, but we can never become like them, They're not ordinary souls. We can follow in the footsteps, take their instructions, but we can't imitate them. And Narottama would say, yes, we can never be like them or live like them. But in his mind, he would think, I want to be like them. I want to live like them. And so he would absorb his mind daydreaming and night dreaming about these great acharyas and how much they loved Gauranga and how much they loved Nityananda and how much love for Krishna they had and how much absorption in Bhagavatam they had. This is all he saturated his heart with as young Narottama. Now we take a little bit of a flashback in time and we go to a moonlit night by the shores of the ocean at Jagannath Puri, and the waves are lapping at the sand. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is on a walk with Lord Nityananda Prabhu. The moon is full and their glowing effulgence is defeating the effulgence of the moon. Every step Mahaprabhu took on the beach, a wave of the ocean would come and touch his lotus feet to taste the divine nectar. And Nityananda would say, hey, did you see that? What? See what? Just see how much love for Krishna the ocean has, Krishna Prem. And Mahaprabhu like, where's love for Krishna? Tell me, please give me a little bit of love for Krishna, please. I don't have any love. Nityananda is like, this ocean is washing your lotus feet because they are filled with love for Krishna. And Mahaprabhu would be very morose. He said, no, I do not even have a cent of love for Krishna. You please go out immediately and get me this love. Bring me some of this love. Knock on every door. Someone out there must have it. I will sit right in this spot. I'll stand right here and you bring me some. Right now, go. Nityananda didn't know what to do, so he ran into the city, Jagannath Puri. And the first person he meets is Swarup Damodar. And he tells him, Mahaprabhu wants some Krishna prema. He said, go anywhere and get some. I need it right now. So Swarup Damodar, he saw that, okay, he understood that these divine personalities, Nityananda and Gauranga, they usually get into sometimes these super ecstatic exchanges and moods. So he said, okay, don't worry. Stay here. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to bring some for you, okay? So he ran back to the Gambira. Gambira is a place where Lord Chaitanya would worship. It's a very small room in Jagannath Puri. And he found this lotus garland, it's effulgent, and he brought it out. It's a Mahaprasadam garland. And he gave this garland to Nityananda Prabhu. He said, here is Krishna Prema. I can confirm that this is genuine Krishna Prema. Give it to Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda took it back. And by this time, the water was up to the knees of Mahaprabhu. And Nityananda's looking, where does this water come from? This water was not from the ocean. It was from the tears of Mahaprabhu. He was standing in a puddle of his own tears as he cried, where is Krishna Prem? Why don't I have any? My Lord, please send me some Krishna Prem. And then Nityananda gave him the garland. He says, this garland is Krishna Prema. You please wear it. And Mahaprabhu wore it and began jumping and shouting, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Mahaprabhu said, Nitai, I want to tell you something. I now have so much Krishna prema. But even in this separation of Krishna, this prema just goes on increasing and increasing. This is the love that Radharani has for Krishna. I'm tasting that love that Srimati Radharani has in his separation. And what I'm doing, I'm just simply following in the footsteps of the gopis. Gopi bhartu padakamalayo, dasa dasanu das. My heart is filling up with this love. But very soon, I will be wrapping up my pastimes here. I have a big problem. What problem could you have, my Lord? For one who has the wealth of God, wealth of love of God, this golokera premadhana, this premadhana, this love, which is the treasure of Goloka. For one who has that wealth, what kind of problem could there be? And I have this huge wealth of Goloka, this love of God, and I want to know into which bank should I deposit this love? Who will be able to receive and properly manage this wealth? If it was diamonds, I could just give it to anyone. If it was a kingdom, I could give it to King Pratap Rudra or something. But this is love for Krishna. Who can receive this properly? And Nityananda said, my Lord, you know better than anyone else, my Lord, who is suitable. You please find him. And Mahaprabhu looks at Nitai and he says, who is more suitable than you, Nitai? I want to give all my Krishna Prem wealth to you, Nityananda. Lord Nityananda said, what? Look, I'm already on the verge of insanity. I'm quite unstable right now. And you keep giving me assignments to preach. Shuno Nityananda, Shuno Haridas. You tell me, go here, go there. If I'm drowning in this love, then how can I even practically go out and preach? Then Mahaprabhu said, okay, look, I'll tell you how to deal with this. You take this love for Krishna that I have, and then you add into it your love for me. So you take Gaura's love for Krishna and Nitai's love for Gaura, and you put it together and you deposit this. Where? Where should I deposit it, my Lord? Into this bank. There's a special bank. I'll give you the address. Bank. What bank? Is the bank of the Padma River at Kheturi Gram. Very special bank, very special place. You go and deposit this into that river. And when she asks me what I'm depositing, what do I tell her? Oh, you tell her that this is a parcel of my love for Krishna combined with your love for me. And one day, the inheritor of this wealth will come. He will be a young, dark-skinned boy whose father never allowed him to bathe in the Padma when he was growing up. When that boy comes and touches her feet with his foot, because of his love for Gaura and for Nitai and his love for Krishna, your waves will rise and touch the sky. Then you'll understand this boy is Narottama, special person. Then Nityananda asks, wow, so much love this boy will have. Then what should she do? My Lord, what should Padma river do? Padma should take this treasure of my love for Krishna and your love for me and give that whole treasure package to Narottama. He is the qualified recipient. Now, Lord Nityananda sat down to process this. And he asks, my dear Nimai, what will he do with this treasure? What is the whole point of this exercise? Then Mahaprabhu said, at that time, when society will be infected with so many anti-devotional speculations in the name of religion, and people will wonder, what is the pure philosophy of God? What is the true love of Godhead look like? At that time, this person, Narottama, will take my love for Krishna and your love for me and his own love for both of us, and he will reestablish pure Vaishnavism, pure Vaishnav Dharma. Every word that will come out of his mouth will be filled, brimming with love of Godhead. And anyone who sings those words will certainly get love of God. So years go by. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu winds up his pastimes. Nityananda Prabhu is still going around village to village. And as he's traveling, he came up to a village and he says, what place is this village? And they say, this is Kheturi Gram. Ah, this is Kheturi Gram. This means I'll be winding my pastimes soon. Time for me to go and make the bank deposit into the Padma River. He went into the river, and she came in her personified form and fell at his feet. What is your instruction to me? And then Nityananda Prabhu said, simple job. I want to bank some property with you. Oh, no, my lord. No one banks any property into a flowing river. In just a few hours, look how fast I'm flowing. Just a few hours, it'll be washed into the ocean. It doesn't make sense. No. This property will stay right here. This is what it is. This is Gauranga's love for Krishna and my love for Gauranga. Here, take it. And she's like, what? I can't handle this heavy treasure. What will I do with this? No, you're holding it for me. One day, one very glorious day, one boy, his name is Narottama, he will come. And by his touch to your waves, your water will rise, and your waves will go so high they'll touch the sky. That time, he immediately gave this treasure to him. This is Mahaprabhu's order. It's not me telling you, this is Mahaprabhu's order. I'm just telling you what he told me to tell you. And then Nityananda left. And the next morning, everyone saw that Padma River had overflown and flooded. And they're wondering, wow, what's going on? Padma is overflowed. It hasn't even rained. It's not the rainy season. What's going on? This is amazing. Like, is this pralaya happening? Because she had now so much extra weight, so much love deposited into her banks. So now we come back to Majumdar's house. And Narottama is grown up quite a bit. Some Vaishnavas had come from Jagannath Puri. And they explained that Lord Chaitanya is no more visible. He's wound up his manifested pastimes. He's disappeared. Narottama asked sadly, what? There is no more Gaura. And then, no, his father said, no, Gaura. Actually, Gaura has gone to Vrindavan. That's what they're trying to say. Then I need to go to Vrindavan. Let me out of this door right now. So his father tried many different ways to prevent Narottama from leaving, running away from home. And Narottama would just pace back and forth in his room like a tiger in a cage. Angrily, he would say, or bang on the walls and say, when are we going to Vrindavan? When? Every time I say we're going to Vrindavan, you say we're packing. You've been packing for 6 months. What are you going to pack? You're going to pack all the grains in the village, all the trees here? What are you going to do? He was very upset. Every time I asked you time to go, you said, no, some devotees are coming, going to have a program. After they're gone, then we'll go. And they come and then they go, we have a program, and then we're still not going to Vrindavan. What's going on? I need to go now. And he looked out the window one evening, and he saw the shimmering reflection of the moon on River Padma. And it was a golden moon. And it reminded him of Lord Gaura's golden color. And he saw Gaura. He looked around. He couldn't find a way out. So he climbed up. He found that he had a tiled roof. And he climbed up and pushed out one of the tiles. And he jumped off. He started running. He arrived at the Padma River. And he was just mesmerized by the golden hue of the shimmering surface. And all he could think of is Gaura, Gaura. He just walked into the river. At that point, Padma started rising and rising, and her waves rose up to the sky as was predicted. And she came out holding a lotus flower. And she gave the flower to him in the personified form and said, you must be Narottama. I have been waiting for you for a long time. This is your property. So what is this? This is the love that Gaura has for Krishna and the love that Nityananda has for Gaura. I can no longer hold this property. I can't hold it for too long. It is time. I'm so glad you have come. As soon as I heard Gaura and Nityananda, he was just absorbed. He graciously accepted the gift. I said, where is that Gaura? Where is he? And as soon as he touched that lotus, his body started turning from dark skin to golden skin because he was getting transformed by constantly meditating, Gaura, Gaura, Gaura. So I need to find Gaura. So Narottama Das Thakur is a great Acharya. I'm going to summarize a little bit of his life, some of his teachings. So he was born in a royal family. We mentioned that in 1533 in Keturi. He had constantly had visions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. He would hear about Mahaprabhu and Nityananda from these traveling devotees, and he experienced a deep longing for Krishna. When it was time, he left this royal life to seek pure bhakti. Then later on, he studied under Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan, and he served Loknath Goswami, who was one of the great acharyas, as a menial disciple. He mastered Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Now, he wanted to take initiation from Lokanath Goswami, but initially Lokanath Goswami refused. He said, I don't take disciples. But Narottama would secretly clean Lokanath Goswami's area where, like there was like bathroom area there. He would clean that area every time. And Lokanath was like, what? Who's been cleaning this without even telling me? And he was just moved by his humility and finally gave him initiation. So he received that divine gift of Vaishnava initiation from Lokanath Goswami. That's why, he mentions that name in quite a few of his bhajans. Like we know Shri Guru Charana Padma, we sing that daily. At the end, he said, Lokanath Lokera Jivana. So that Lokanath refers to his spiritual master. Right? So this is Narottama Das Thakur has written many, many bhajans like that. So he respects and recognizes his spiritual master in some of his bhajans. So he composed many, many bhajans and kirtans to inspire the masses, where he would encapsulate the most difficult and the deepest philosophical points into simple local language, very poetic, very heartrending, and moves the soul immediately. So his bhajans are very, very powerful. He was the one who organized the very first grand Gaur Purnima festival in Keturi. And this festival is still very famous, Keturi festival. It was a historic event. It brought together Janava Mata, Srinivasa Acharya, Shamanand Pandit. These are other great devotees. They got the deities of Gaur Nitai, Radha Krishna established. And he did kirtan that was so powerful that Lord Chaitanya Nityananda appeared, in that kirtan. So Narottama Das Thakur is a great devotee of the Lord. His teachings, his bhajans, they continue inspiring so many. What are some of the bhajans that I mentioned some in the earlier on? They move the heart. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Varanga Bolite Habe, Hari Hari Bifale. So if you look at something like Hari Hari Bifale, it is a very you can say remorseful song. His song is filled with remorse of having wasted his life. My Lord, Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gavayo, Manusha Janama Paya, Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya, Janiya Shunya Bishakhayo. That I wasted my life fruitlessly. Manusha Janama Paya. I received this human form of life. Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya, but I did not worship Radha Krishna. I have knowingly and willingly drunk poison. This is my useless life. Of course, those who have the true wealth, those who have wealth, they're always crying about how little money they have. Similarly, those who have love, they're remorseful about how little love they have. But he is inviting us to enter into this mood. When we chant our Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we chant Hare Krishna in our japa, when we chant Hare Krishna in the kirtans and so on, he's inviting us to get into this mood that, my Lord, I wasted my life. And when we get in a remorseful mood and we are moved to tears, our japa, our chanting is very powerful. He also wrote some very other nice bhajans, like one is called, there's a Rasa Leela that happens on Vasant. It's called Vasanti Ras. And he wrote a bhajan called Vasanti Ras, where he describes his vision of how beautiful Vrindavan is. It's just 3 stanzas, but it's so beautiful written. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana Divya Chintamani Dhama Ratana Mandira Manohara. This Vrindavan is a beautiful place. And there's bejeweled temples everywhere. And it's covered with Chintamani gems. And in this place, there's a golden lotus with many petals. And Radha Krishna are in the center. Radha Krishna are in the center. And, the principal gopis are sitting in the paddle. So he gives us a beautiful vision of the spiritual world. Then there's another very famous bhajan, Radha Krishna Pran Mora Yugala Kishore. I'm sure you must have heard this, where he's saying that Radha and Krishna, they are my life and soul, this youthful pair, Yugala Kishore. Jivane Marane Gati Arnahi More. That is an aspiration that I'm aspiring to serve Radha Krishna in the spiritual world. Then he gets into the details where he's offering chamara, he's offering tambula and different things to the deity or to the forms of Radha and Krishna. So it's his bhajans span a variety of different moods, different points, but they're all very, very powerful. They move our hearts beyond ritualism. They move our understanding to the highest aspect of spirituality, which is developing love for God. See. Then he also has beautiful bhajans like Nitai Pada Kamala, that the mercy of Lord Nityananda glorifies Lord Nityananda's lotus feet as the only shelter. Koti Chandra Sushitala, that these two lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, they are Koti Chandra Sushitala. They are more cooling and soothing than millions of moons. See? So these are some of the most famous kirtans sung in ISKCON today. Even our, Guru Puja we sing every morning. Shri Guru Charan Padma, that's composed by Narottama Das Thakur. See. So today is his appearance day. We can learn a lot by meditating on him today. So what are some of the lessons that we can take? Total surrender. He was completely surrendered, and his humility and his guru seva, his devotion to his spiritual master, were legendary. Another aspect is bhakti over birth. Doesn't matter what family you're born in. He was not born in a Brahminical family. He was born in royal heritage, but to him that meant nothing. Bhakti, the devotional service, the love that you develop for Krishna, that is what matters. That is a true wealth, not the wealth of royal heritage or other so-called material, advancements. No. Bhakti is the main thing. Another important teaching that he brings is that kirtan and bhajan, these are the best preaching methods. Srila Prabhupada also followed that. He sang so many bhajans. He would teach his disciples how to sing these bhajans. He would teach his disciples to go out and do kirtan on the streets. The famous kirtan, Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. That's written by Narottama Das Thakur. Very nice, right? Kirtan out on the streets, kirtan in the homes, bhajans. These are the best preaching methodologies. And then another thing that he taught is unity in the Gaudiya mission. Unify, stay unified, and spread Krishna consciousness together. How did he teach that? He organized this Keturi festival as a model that get together, all devotees come together. It's a model for ISKCON devotees. And we do that too, where, devotees get together and we'll pull the rath together, or we'll have festivals together. Sometimes we get together from all over the country to do kirtan together and in say Sadhu Sangha retreat. Or sometimes, like when the New York Rath Yatra is happening, so many temples, devotees come from different temples to New York and pull the Rath. This idea of coming together from far away, different places, and bringing the energy, like how he did for the Keturi festival. This is spearheaded and pioneered by Narottama Das Thakur. So how can we ISKCON devotees, how can we apply these teachings today? We should learn his bhajans, chant them, discuss them, sing them, spread them. Take that mood. Second, we can serve ISKCON through preaching and through unification efforts. Third, learn from him how to take shelter of Guru. Learn from him how to take shelter of Vaishnavas. How did he teach that? And then focus on humility and kirtan as the essence of bhakti. So just some final reflections. Srila Prabhupada said that This is one lecture Srila Prabhupada said. Narottama Das Thakur's versions are accepted as Vedic versions, Shruti Pramana. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the statements of Narottama Das Thakur are as good as Vedic evidences. Therefore, we quote from Narottama Das Thakur often. Okay. So we have tremendous opportunities in our life to worship Narottama Das Thakur. Today is a very special day where we can certainly get extra mercy because it's appearance day. We can pray to him. Find bhajans that you haven't heard before. Sing them. You can look them up on how to sing them. You know, there's so many. His prarthana itself has so many dozens and dozens of bhajans. We have a website. There's a website, right? KK Songs, very popular website. If you just look under there, this organized by the author. Look under Narottama Das Thakur. It's a long list. You can just scroll and scroll of his bhajans. See what appeals to you. Any one of those moods, if you can imbibe even a fraction of it, then we'll get a sense of what is that drop of love of Godhead that he talks about, and how that one droplet of love can overflood the entire world because it's infinite. So today is that special day. I will pause here. If anybody has any other comments or questions or anything else you want to share on your own realizations about Narottama Das Thakur. And I want to thank you for this opportunity. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. This is Vindhyavali.
Sure.
I just would like to know if you can sing any bhajan, because you're telling a lot of bhajans. I love bhajans. I heard a lot of Narottama Das bhajans, you know. That describing Vrindavana, that was also beautiful bhajan. Anything, any bhajan which you like, if you can sing.
Sure. You know what? I can just sing the one that I started because
Anyone.
Yeah,
anything you like.
Sure. Okay, and maybe you can also kind of, I'll share my.
I learned a lot of, I heard a lot of bhajans and I love them, all of them. I know most of the bhajans he wrote very nicely.
Yes, he has sang many bhajans. I will maybe share one real quick over here. This one only has 3 stanzas, one of my favorite ones. So,
anything you should like.
Yeah, here you go. Let's see if you can, I'm going to share my screen here.
Yeah, this is a beautiful song.
Yeah. This is only 3 stanzas. Okay.
Yeah.
Vrindavana Ramya Sthana Divya Chintamani Dhama Ratana Mandira Manohara Abrita Kalindini Rajahansa Kelikare Tahe Shobhe Kanaka Kamala Taramadhe Hemapita Ashtadale Beshtita Ashtadale Pradhana Naika Taramade Ratnasane Boshiya Chendui Jane Shama Sange Sundari Radhika. I'll read the translation. I just sang 2 of the beautiful, this translation is something to meditate on.
You have one more song to sing, Prabhu.
Sure. Okay, all right. I'll sing that.
I'm sorry.
No problem. I was trying to just finish it. Okay, that's not last one. Orupa lavanya rashi amiya pariche khasi hasya parihasa sambhashane Narottama Dasa koe nitya lila shukamoe Shadai Spurka Moramane. Beautiful Vrindavan is filled with Chintamani gems and many jeweled palaces and temples. Many regal swans play in the waters of the Yamuna, and in those waters a splendid golden lotus flower grows. In the middle of that lotus is a golden place surrounded by 8 petals. On these 8 petals, the 8 principal gopis reside.
Ah,
And in the center, Lord Shamsundar and beautiful Srimati Radharani sit on a jewel throne. The great beauty of the divine couple and their charming joking and laughter continually showers nectar everywhere. Narottama Das says, I pray that these blissful, eternal, transcendental pastimes of the divine couple may always be manifest in my heart.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, like you said, thinking all that, in lotus petal, they were sitting. That imagination itself is so beautiful. That he's all these bhajans are very nice. Narottama Das.
There's many of them. This very
Hariharai Nama Krishna Yadavai Nama. Thank you very much,
yeah,
Prabhu.
thank you, Vindhyavali Mataji. Anyone else has any comments to share? Dronacharya Prabhu.
Thank you, Madana-gopāla Prabhu, for this presentation on Narottama Das Thakur. What a wonderful way to honor his life and contributions, and so that we learn about such a great Acharya. What fascinates me is that his music and his bhajans, his prayers they've really lasted the test of time. Oftentimes we see, like, especially within music, it seems like generation to generation, people have a change in music. What I liked, was much different than my grandparents and their great grandparents, and it's different than what my children and my great grandchildren will like. But it seems like Narottama Das Thakur's music and songs that he's given us, has lasted the test of time. And
that's such a wonderful comment, Prabhu. It is a testimony, it's a testament to the eternal nature of the spiritual message, the timeless nature of it. It is beyond time, and so the time factor doesn't affect it like how it could affect modern day fashionable songs. It's fashionable for some time, maybe a year or two, then they go out of fashion, and people get tired of them. They don't sing them for many. Then the 20 years pass, then they remember, oh, that was a good one. Then they have a retro collection. They call it retro, and then they sing those for a while, and then they get tired of them again, because that's the nature of mundane messages. Even if you put to beautiful music, mundane messages, they don't deliver the joy, the lasting joy that music promises. But when musical notes are infused with the message of divine love, and you can tell, you can imagine that Narottama Das Thakur, he was given this gift, which is Gauranga's love for Krishna and Nityananda's love for Gauranga. And then he infuses his own love for Gaura Nitai into his bhajans. Those things can never be destroyed. Those poems, those songs, they'll remain in the hearts, and you will sing them joyfully again and again and again. Gauranga Duti Pada. It's just the 2 lotus feet of Lord Gauranga. Such nice bhajans. Sometimes we may not even be aware that many of the bhajans we're singing, they're by him. If you look, these are Narottama Das Thakur songs. Look how many they are. You see? Dhana Mora Nityananda, Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharira, Gauranga Karuna Kora, Gauranga Duti Pada, Gaura Pahu. Prabhupada sang some of these very beautifully, right? So many. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gumayu. So if you're familiar with these, definitely sing them. And if you're not familiar with them, then let us learn them. Jaya Anilo Prema Dhana Karuna Prachur. This is one of the most heart-rending songs I've ever seen. This is when he's feeling the separation from all the acharyas, from Mahaprabhu. Kaha Mora Sarup Rupa, Kaha Sanatan. Ekakale Kotha Gela. Gora Nataraj. Where's my Gora Nataraj, the dancing Gauranga? Where is he gone suddenly? And then Pashane Kutiba Mata. I'm going to break my head on a rock. I can't stand this separation. It's so amazingly moving, if you read these and sing them. And then, of course, Radha Krishna Pranamora we talked about. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More. This simple bhajan, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More, is full of so much, not just nectar, but so much philosophical points. We can go on and on talking about it. So this is the amazing magic of Narottama Das Thakur's bhajans. It's not only they're simple to learn, easy to understand, but they carry the import and the purport of all the Vedic literatures, and they move the heart immediately. And so we sing them. So if anybody on this call is not familiar with them, please find these songs, learn them, figure out how they, it's easy to learn how they're sung. You can Google them or find them on YouTube, different versions, see which tune you like, understand the lyrics, the wordings, and then sing them on a daily basis. You will not regret that decision. Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you, Prabhu. Very nice presentation. Thank you for talking about this bhajan. This is one of my favorite things that I like to do every day. Both songs that you sang, I've been singing again and again. Then I just memorize them. I can sing them nicely. And I really, really love all this bhajan of Narottama Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's really like I used to sit down and just sit and sing one after one another.
Yes. No, this is the life. This is the life. This is the joy of life. Golokananda Mataji. This is
Yeah.
the joy of life. If you can sit and just sing them one after another and meditate on what they mean, our own Krishna consciousness will flourish like a flower, and it will grow like anything. And we will develop the taste, because this is what Mahaprabhu has given. We'll develop a taste for chanting. If we can chant while crying, like we chant Hare Krishna, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare. If we are moved to tears, then we know our japa is successful.
That's true.
But if we are not, then we can get inspiration by the meanings of these bhajans to move our heart to tears. We can read one bhajan real quick before chanting, get in the mood, get in that message that, my Lord, I wasted my life. I'm so sorry. When we approach our chanting with that, with the sense of remorse, oh, it'll be so purifying. Or, my Lord, I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful what you've given. You've given all this acharyas, you've given this wealth to me, wealth of love. And that gratitude can overflow in the form of tears too. And then, oh, your chanting will be so sweet. You will never forget. Then other things in life, the ups and downs of life, they don't bother us anymore. Because see, a life has ups and downs no matter what. But this takes off all the edge off of the pain from that. And we realize this is not a real life. Real life is absorbing in the holy name. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, in all the 14 worlds, there's nothing more to be had than the holy name of Krishna. All the other things everything else is trivial, it's insignificant, it's inconsequential by comparison. So, okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, it's I think it's 8:45, 8:46. Acharya Prabhu.
Thank you, Madana-gopāla Prabhu, for your time this morning. It's such a pleasure to see you on our morning classes. We hope to see more of you in the upcoming months, and for delivering this message of the glories of Narottama Das Thakur today. Thank you to all the devotees that came. Have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Be careful out there. It's a snowy morning. Travel will be a little bit slow. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Haribol. Thank you for the
Hare Krishna.
opportunity. We'll see you soon. Haribol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.